Hey, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about a new masterclass I've been trying to put together for some time. It's on the execution velocity advantage. It's designed for CPG leaders who must win the shelf war. Let's get started. So let's start by talking about why execution is the edge now. If you lead a CPG portfolio today, you already know this. Shelf space is vanishing, timelines are collapsing, and competitors are running leaner and faster. The biggest threat isn't the startup with the clever label, it's the system behind them that's built for speed, not size. Execution velocity is no longer an ops metric, it's a strategic advantage. In this session, I'll show you how the top performers are weaponizing speed, not just to launch faster, but to learn faster, adapt faster, and win faster. Let's start. Chapter 1. The hidden cost of slow. Let's quantify the cost of slow. A 2-week delay on a summer SKU could be millions in missed margin. A reformulation after legal pushback, millions in wasted operations. A failed launch that repeats an old mistake, brand equity erosion that compounds across categories. Slowness isn't just lost time, it's stacked opportunity cost, and it's usually invisible to leadership until it shows up in shelf loss or margin collapse. Let's take an example of a global snack brand. One SKU reformulated 3 times in 9 months. Why? No shared visibility into claim feasibility. The team spent 14 weeks solving a problem that GenAI could have flagged on day 2. So let's do a simulation. Let's run a friction cost simulation. Your role, you're VP of product at a $1 billion snack portfolio. You're mid-launch on your most anticipated product of the year, a low-sugar, plant-based snack bar with natural, high fiber, and no artificial additives claims. Then, 2 weeks before the ship date, legal alerts you to a new EU regulation. The natural claim now requires proof of extraction method. Your bar doesn't meet it. This is not hypothetical, this is Tuesday. So where GenAI helps, step by step. Step 1, constrained signal preload. GenAI scans 13 regional labeling frameworks in milliseconds. It flags the natural claim as red in the EU and yellow in APAC, weeks earlier. Step 2, label simulation engine. Instantly simulates the label against global compliance databases. Visualizes risk zones, you course correct proactively. Step 3, reformulation plus claim recovery. It suggests minimally processed, compliant in all markets, adjust fiber content to preserve brand equity. Step 4, impact simulation. Compares original versus revised path. No delay, 92% brand value retained, team morale intact. So how do you do this in for real? Internally, map friction points from your last 3 launches. Quantify the cost and time that was lost. Reverse simulate where GenAI could have flagged risk. Present to your CEO, here's the money you're leaking. This isn't about speed, it's about foresight. Chapter 2, how speed becomes strategy. Speed alone isn't the goal, coordinated speed is. And that only happens when insights, constraints, and specs move together across functions. The best teams systemize speed, legal simulation during ideation, regulatory alignment embedded in briefs, auto-generated specs with built-in manufacturability. Let's take an example. Let's say you're a challenger beverage company. You want to cut concept to shelf from 5 months to 8 weeks, no headcount added, just shared constraint modeling plus GenAI orchestration. This could be done. So let's talk through how that could be done. So let's do a constraint simulation war room. So your role is an innovation director launching a high protein functional drink. You're coordinating brand, R&D, QA, legal, each with different timelines and risk lenses. Your formula uses a novel protein source with limited claim precedent. So how can GenAI help in this scenario? Step 1, pre-sprint alignment map. Visualizes all constraint zones, nutrition, claims, scale. Step 2, real-time trade-off dashboard. adjust protein percentage, claim language, packaging, instantly shows feasibility impact. Step 3, rapid feasibility simulation. Simulates blend behavior at 3 times factory scale. Avoids scale-up failure seen in prior launches. Step 4, consolidated spec brief generator. Auto produces a unified doc, legal ready, QA aligned, label compliant. You can run this exercise even with standard tools. You'll find easily 3 to 5 hidden constraint overlaps. That is the difference between a project that hits friction in QA and one that never does. Chapter 3, the anatomy of execution memory. Execution memory is the foundation of exponential learning and innovation. So in low-performing orgs, memory is tribal, locked in people and slides and spreadsheets. High performers codify it into their systems. So let's take an example of a plant-based dairy brand. They ran 8 launches in 2023, 2 flopped due to gelling at scale. In 2024, GenAI auto-flagged every spec with that emulsifier, 0 repeats. So here's how you can do a memory loop diagnostic. Let's pretend you are an R&D lead tracking reformulation issues across launches. You suspect certain specs consistently underperform, but have no systemic way to trace or tag them. Here's where GenAI can help. Step 1, a launch retrospective mapping. Ingests historical data and postmortems, clusters by delay type. Step 2, pattern detection. Highlights emulsifier plus temperature issues across 4 launches. Step 3, risk flag injection. Injects smart warnings into future spec templates. Step 4, QA integration. Auto adjusts QA checkpoints for at-risk specs. You can run a shadow postmortem with your top 3 delays and you'll identify at least 1 repeat pattern. If you keep losing shelf because of the same invisible error, GenAI will make it visible. Chapter 4, predictive execution with GenAI. This is where GenAI matures from a novelty to infrastructure. Every top performer we study now embeds it into label compliance prediction, sensory scoring, cost impact modeling, and factory readiness checks. Let's take an example of a DTC functional beverage brand. GenAI predicted a 7% sensory score drop when switching sweetener blend. The team pivoted before committing to scale, saved millions of dollars. So how can we try this out? Let's do a predictive readiness audit. Your role, let's pretend you're an ops director facing ingredient volatility and last minute reformulations. You're evaluating 3 new suppliers due to cost pressure, but unsure how shifts will impact shelf readiness. This is how GenAI could help. Step 1, sensory and label simulation. Predicts change impact on flavor, mouthfeel, and compliance. Step 2, cost compliance trade-off overlay. It quantifies trade-off, let's say a 1.4% cost saving, which potentially could mean a 12% sensory drop. Step 3, predictive QA flagging. It can highlight reformulation zones likely to trigger QA pushback. Step 4, approval path simulation. Models path for clean approval from spec to label to marketing. So internally, you can start with a list of supplier-driven reformulations and map points of pushback from QA, legal, or brand. This is how the best teams avoid waste, not by moving slower, but by seeing sooner. Chapter 5, the signal session offer. If this hit home, there's one clear next step. Talk to us. We'll help you map your friction points. We'll help you simulate launch velocity with and without GenAI, and we will identify the top 3 trapped value zones in your portfolio. Let's pretend you're the VP for a global VP of Global Portfolio Strategy, and you're reviewing a 12-month innovation calendar. You have 3 hero SKUs already behind. Marketing wants speed, legal wants caution. This is how GenAI would help. Step 1, launch a velocity audit. Plot your actual versus ideal timeline for the last 5 launches. Step 2, do a friction point map. Highlights recurring drag from claim, scale, QA delays. Step 3, velocity simulation. Shows counterfactual with GenAI orchestration. and figures out the gains that could be in millions. Step 4, custom playbook. Tailored roadmap to integrate GenAI where it delivers most. Constraint modeling, reformulation, claim navigation. This is how you can put this in practice. Bring one SKU to the table, run a guided simulation. You'll walk out knowing exactly where you were losing time and margin. Your competitors are already embedding velocity into their stack. You don't need to catch up, you need to leap. All right, in closing, this was the execution velocity advantage because the next winner in your category, they're already faster. So let's close the gap.